We had a question about what is a breakout room. So if you want to talk about that a little bit, it's basically a parallel meeting that you shift people to.
So I like to use breakout rooms as active learning environments for my students. Essentially, I'll give them a problem that says, how could you design this reactor if? And I'll tell them, I'm going to send you to a breakout room, talk in a small team, select a reporter who's ready to report back. So it's kind of a small private space for students to group up in small groups and talk about potential solutions and problems. So if you are interested in that, please say yes, no in chat there. Not in chat, in the participants window. Tony, can you make me a co-host? Because I'm going to want to demo this in...
From what, your guest?
Yes, from my guest, sorry. Thank you.
You guys. Yep.
So I'm going to start sharing out my screen here so you can see. So I'm now sharing out my screen here. I'm now the co-host in our core meeting here. So the way I like to use breakout rooms is, like I said, here's a broad problem that I want you to get in a very small group and talk about and come up with a solution. And I'm only going to send you to this breakout room for 1 or 2 minutes, and then I'm going to pull you back and we'll chat about what you came up with. And so it's a great little private conversation area for students to work in a small group. And so, oh, you have to make me host. You have to be host, not co-host.
That's an important note.
You have to be host and not co-host for breakout rooms. And so you can assign hosts and co-hosts via the more options here. And so Tony's doing that right now. Okay, so I now have the breakout room option here under more. And so you should be able to see this in the share. And so if you want to send students to breakout rooms, I would suggest talk about what you want them to do as you're setting this up. So the first thing that comes up is assign the 22 participants that are still here to, let's assign them to 6 rooms. That will put 3 or 4 people in each room, right? So you only want a small group of people in these breakout rooms. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create this room and I'm going to send you out. And so you can see what it's like from a student perspective. Now note, when I want to cancel this room, it gives a 60-second countdown. So I'm going to send you to that room. I'm going to give you like 10 seconds and you can try to talk to each other for a few seconds. And then I'm going to end the breakout room and a 60-second countdown will start telling you to leave. And at the end of the 60 seconds, it's going to force you back. So I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I'm going to create the room. I can see who is assigned where. And now I can open the rooms. Now, as soon as I press this button, you guys are gone. And so you're temporarily going to this breakout room. So see you all in 60 seconds. Hi, Sandy. I think my mic got sent to breakout room 6 with you. Oh no, I didn't accept it.
Hey, Steve.
Hey.
So I left the
Hey, Todd. Yeah.
breakout room. One thing we learned about breakout rooms, if someone's assigned as a co-host, they do not get the invite. They get automatically pushed into that space. They also don't have a request for help button. So there's a different functionality if they're a co-host and get put into that space. Just a heads up. We just learned that.
Okay, I'll share that. I'm going to go ahead and close rooms, and now everyone should start coming back.
So did you see I posted in the chat, where is this showing up? Do you see that?
No. The chat,
So that went to the
everything
chat
is
or the
specific.
breakout room?
Yes, yes. So almost everybody is back. We still have some people in their breakout room.
About 20 more seconds.
Yep, yep. So we'll just wait until the breakout rooms end, and then everybody will be forced back. Okay, so everybody should be coming back to the breakout room, or to the main room now. And so a couple things to keep in mind, that when you're in that breakout room, that is almost essentially a completely separate meeting. You have your own chat, you have your own yes/no options. There are options to flag help from the host, but that's really only the host. Even the co-hosts get sent to a breakout room. And so the co-hosts there's limited options in terms of the help that you can give. As the instructor, I can join a breakout room at any time and see what's going on. But one thing to remember is, as the host, wherever you go, that's typically what's being recorded. So as a host, if you're recording, I would not recommend jumping into the breakout room. For a classroom environment, I would only let these go for a few minutes to work on a small problem to keep the students engaged. Yeah, there is an ask for, so as Jacob said, there is an ask for help, and I, as the host, get that notification. It doesn't go to the co-host. The co-hosts are in a breakout room as well. There is an ask for help. I get notified for that, so if I want to go in, that's something I can do. And so there's... It's important to note that the breakout rooms are completely separate meetings. So when you go to a breakout room, you will no longer hear my voice. You'll no longer see my content. It is something completely removed. So note that when you send them to a breakout room, anything that you have shared will stop, and they will only see it once they come back. So I would be clear in defining a problem that is easy to move to a breakout room. If you want to share something with them at that point, that's going to be quite difficult. So I'm not sure what the best way of doing that would be to answer Jacob's question in chat. I think
So
be very specific before you send them.
What happens to the recording?
The recording follows the host. The recording will follow the host. So if I go into a breakout room, now since I am the host and I'm recording, it will follow me wherever I go.
Which could have FERPA implications.
Which could have FERPA implications. So just keep that in mind. So what I typically do is I just stay in the main room, only do small exercises. That way, even if they're stuck, they'll come back after a minute and say, we didn't get anywhere, right? And just kind of let them flounder for that minute. But I think it's really about using those spaces as potential active learning spaces to keep students engaged, and you don't want to do anything more in those spaces than an active learning exercise, which is only a few minutes at a time anyhow.